Well, welcome once again to the Party of One podcast, the actual play RPG podcast where the gaming table is always set for two. I'm your host as always, Jeff Stormer. This week on the show, I'm joined by Lyra Vega for a playthrough of her game, Let the Fire Soothe. Let the Fire Soothe is a spindle wheel game about making a deal with a demon. You and your companion play the roles of a weary traveler and a generous fire demon called a Herther. The traveler has been tasked with a monumental quest, and only they can complete it. To succeed, they must first get free of the struggles that are haunting them. The Herther has learned how to gain magical power by burning memories. In exchange for these memories, the Herther miraculously solves the traveler's struggles. Over the course of 3 nights, you share stories over the fire and heal together. This game is beautiful. It's wonderful. It is deeply personal and evocative and interpretive. It uses a spindle wheel card deck, which is an interpretive tarot-like playing card deck. That is one of my favorite gaming accessories that has been made in the last, decade, if ever. I adored playing this game and getting to share in this really personal, beautiful experience. This game rips. You should check it out. You can find it at crtgirl.itch.io, or you can check the show notes for more information. At the time of this recording, Let the Fire Soothe is part of the Queer Games Bundle 2023. It is an absolutely massive collection of indie queer games, video games, role-playing games that you can pick up to directly support the creators of those games. You can also find a link to the Queer Games Bundle in the show notes. Now, before we begin, there are a few things that I want to say. First, on behalf of myself and Party of One, I want to say that we stand in full support of our friends, peers, and colleagues in the Writers Guild of America as they fight for better pay, better working conditions, and a better path forward in the industry. And furthermore, I would like to encourage you, if you're listening to this episode, you have the financial means to do so, and you'd like to support the strike, to go to bit.ly/entertainment fund and make a donation to the Entertainment Community Fund. This is a fund that specifically supports those in the cast and crew of shows that have been impacted by the writer's strike, that helps them pay bills, rent, and stay afloat while the strike is ongoing. Simply go to bit.ly/entertainment fund, select film and television, and make a donation. If you do this, send me proof of a donation of any amount to partyofonepodcast@gmail.com, and I've got some games and goodies that I can share with you. It is the least that I can do to support the strike. As always, thank you for listening and thank you for your support. And with all that said, let's go ahead and throw it over to me in the past so that he can get started with the show. Take it past me. Thanks, future me. I am so very, very excited. I'm sitting down with Lyra Vega. Lyra, thank you so much for coming on Party of One.
Thanks for having me.
I'm really genuinely very excited for today's game. This has got me I'm happy to be here today. I'm happy to be playing this game. And speaking of what we're playing, why don't you let our lovely listeners at home know about what we're playing this week, as well as anything else you've got going on that you might want them to know about.
Yeah. I'm Lyra Vega. I just, guess about a month ago, time flies. I don't remember when I put it out, but I put out a game called Let the Fire Soothe, which is a 2-player spindle wheel game about a demon and a traveler going on a little adventure together.
So I'm going to go ahead and read the intro because it is beautiful.
Right.
After a long day on the road, a traveler sits down by the fire and rests. They fret over the struggles that plague them, and the fire listens. They ache over the difficulty of their work, and the fire leans closer. They sigh over the path ahead, and the fire places a hand on the traveler's leg to steady their nerve. It speaks. If you give me a memory, I can make your struggles melt away. This is a game about making a deal with a demon. That rips. What a good intro. I'm already 100% in. So yeah, we have a bunch of spindle wheel cards in front of us. Spindle wheel is an interpretive tarot-like deck of cards. It's got prompts on both sides, and we are going to draw those cards. We are going to build ourselves a fire. We are going to discover who the fiery demon that emerges from this fire that is going to, in exchange for memories, provide a sense of comfort and support for this adventurer's travels to come. And with that, I think that we can start to do exactly that. To begin the game, we should decide who is going to play our weary traveler and who's going to play our generous Herther.
Perfect. Do you have a leaning anyway, or do you want to read through these?
I have been leaning towards the traveler, I think.
I think that's a good choice.
That feels good to me. So I will read, I'll read the traveler section if you want to read through the Herther section.
Yeah, of course.
So the weary traveler, you are a traveler, you are a busy person, worn with work and obligations. You have been tasked with a quest that challenges you, and you are the only person capable of completing it. This burden weighs heavily on you. Something else has been weighing on you lately. The first night that you made camp, you noticed something strange about the fire, an unnatural stirring and curling in the flames. Sensing your curiosity, the fire reached out to you and revealed itself to be our Hearther. They explained that they had decided to be a passenger in your mind, and they make you an offer. Give me a memory, and I will make your troubles disappear. It has been some nights since then, and while you have spoken many times, this is the first night you are taking our Hearther up on their offer. As our traveler, I vow to share as much as I like, but only offer what I am willing to let go of. To give our Hearther only as much power as I dare to, and stay committed to our quest.
Perfect. And the generous Hearther. You are our Hearther, a lesser fire demon with a penchant for mischief and a weakness for contracts. Typically, Hearthers settle into the fireplaces of inns and houses. They thrive on the bountiful fuel and play games on the people who come to sit by them. You, however, are clever and restless. You've worked out a way to stow away in a human's mind to travel the world. You've worked something else out too. Memories are potent fuel for magic, powerful, godlike magic, and you are good at burning fuel. This is where our traveler comes in. You made them a deal. You will solve all their problems in exchange for the memories that they willingly offer you. With the power you gain from them, solving their struggles will take just a wave of your hand, but they don't need to know that. You chose our traveler because they were going somewhere you thought was interesting. As our Hearther, I vow to never take anything that is not expressly offered to me, to never lie to, coerce, or trick our traveler, and to keep my embers safe.
I love it. I love it. Additionally, these things are true. Our Hearther and Traveler are aware of each other. Our Hearther cannot read our Traveler's thoughts. They are only a passenger in their mind. Our Hearther may only appear where there is a fire or other source of light present in a scene, a computer screen, a street lamp, a lantern, etc. Our Hearther may not touch our Traveler's cards without express permission, and there is no fixed setting. Our story can take place whenever and wherever we like. So, with all of that, we are going to first build a fire, which is I'm going to lay out 6 cards on a table and arrange them like logs in a campfire. We've got some questions to answer. I want to throw you a vibe pitch immediately.
Okay, let's go.
Just from where my brain has been at today, I have been specifically turning over 2 things in my head like a stone. You know how you just you grab a thing and it hovers there? That's where I've been at today.
Okay.
And the vibe is pretty similar, even if they're very different things. I have been thinking a lot about, there is a Patrick Willems video that is like the Wes Anderson version of the X-Men that I've been thinking a lot today.
Oh.
And the video is a delight. I'm going to put it in the show notes just because I've been thinking about it a lot. And B, the trailer for the new Ninja Turtles movie dropped today, and that made me think about the other Ninja Turtles movie, which makes me think about that weird scene of the turtles in the woods in the first Ninja Turtles film, where they just like have just realness in front of a campfire for a while.
Oh.
So I'm kind of feeling, if you're cool with it, kind of a teen superhero vibe.
Yes. This rules.
Good. I'm so glad. I will get to know what my teen character is, but like something about, thinking about like the Xavier School for Gifted Youngsters and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in the woods, like it is a cool aesthetic for me to think about, and it brings a lot of joy to me to think about like the Traveler Hearther dynamic as it relates in that particular scenario.
Yeah.
Cool.
I haven't done anything like this in this game before, so this is really exciting to me.
I'm so happy to hear this. All right. So our first card is our first. Do we go through the Traveler's cards first? Correct.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So our first cards are our first card to build our fire is our fulcrum. What is the core of our identity? I have drawn walkers. The game recommends that you really focus on the card upright. We can turn it if we choose to, but I've got here walkers, endurance hunters, steady pursuers, tireless trackers. This ties nicely. I think this ties nicely to the superhero. Like, I'm realizing how deeply my brain has been in this space lately because I'm also reading the phrase endurance hunter. Like, I realized that, like, there's a new Spider-Verse movie that comes out on Friday at the time of this recording, and I'm like, oh yeah, right. So I get the vibe that, like, this character, you know what I'm gonna do? Lyra, you know what you know what this makes me, where this takes me?
Tell me about it.
We introduced, in another game that we played recently, we introduced a superhero as a side character.
Oh?
I'm just gonna continue to play that character.
Rad.
Yeah, hell yeah. So that character's name is NoClip, and NoClip's power can phase through things, like a NoClip video game run. That's what a lot of this, the tireless tracker, the endurance hunter, the steady pursuer, it's very much, his pronouns. NoClip is like he can move through things. He kind of, like, when he stands still, he kind of appears to clip around like a badly rendered video game character. And all of his things are kind of built around movement. And that's what this card speaks to me.
I love it. That's great.
I'm
so here for this.
So why don't you read us why don't I think what we'll do is if you would be okay reading the questions, I will brainstorm some answers.
All right. So that fulcrum was the core of your identity, and next we have the flint, which is what glimmer of hope guides you forward.
I've drawn here doctor, a soft heart, a steady hand, a strong stomach.
Ooh. And you're in this in LTFS, you're welcome to use whichever side of the card. I tend to be really, really spinny with mine.
I've also got an authoritative voice, a curious mind, or an unscrupulous scalpel.
Whew.
I kind of like a steady hand and a strong stomach. I like that, because that feels like what that says to me is that the hope that carries it on is that, like, I'm pulling very heavily on a strong stomach. Like, it's that I haven't, like, pardon the pun, but it's that I haven't been phased yet. Like, in every sense of the word, like, this is a character that's like, yeah, I mean, I've seen some messed up shit, and it hasn't knocked me down so far. So I guess I can keep going. And I think that is the fundamental thing that gives NoClip hope, is that he's just like, I seem to have a knack for this. I seem to have the potential for this, and, like, it's the steady hand and the strong stomach. It's that, you know, I haven't been broken by this yet, and I remain compassionate, and my heart remains soft, and that is very good to me.
That's great.
So our next question, talk to me about our next question is the trial.
Yeah, what is your quest?
What is my quest? Bridge, a choke point, a shortcut, rope and wood haphazardly lashed, a stable connection, a thoroughfare, a mountain hollowed. A rope and wood haphazardly, a choke point, a shortcut.
Oh.
What is this character's quest? There's something tenuous. Let me throw this to you. Is there anything that this card is saying to you that, like, feels like a good superheroic quest?
So the thing that immediately jumped to mind is, like, for whatever reason, like, wormhole drilling.
Okay, yeah.
Like, there's something, you can phase through things. You have that, like, movement, and there's something about being, like, the first scout to go somewhere, or having to hold open a doorway, cross over somewhere to let others through.
That's great. I really love that. And I think that's really great, because what that says, and I'm flipping this card to have it be a stable connection, a thoroughfare, a mountain hollowed. I think, in the biggest possible swing, because we love a good superhero presented with a problem that, like, they cannot solve through superhero shit. A wormhole has opened.
Ooh.
In our city, and, like, has become, like, a very big point of conversation a very good point of like it is a big enigma, right? It is an anomaly. There is just this gateway to another dimension, and there is just the overarching chaos that has come from that, and also the sense of like, can we understand what is on the other side? Can we make this like a safe bridge to another place? All of those like big heady questions that, if I am essentially a superhero free runner, that's out of my skill set.
Yeah, that's beyond you.
That's real beyond me. So next we're gonna draw our strain.
What trouble haunts you from your past?
What trouble haunts me from my past?
Yeah,
For
what's
this,
eating you?
we have stone soup. Under the veneer of impassive stone is fragile flesh dressed in stand. Or find abundance in fallow ground, squeeze the blood from a stone. Squeeze the blood from a stone, like, that kind of flows naturally from what we were just saying. Like, I think, I'm going to say blood from a stone tells me that, like, I am alone in this. I think the thing that weighs on me is that very real sense of, like, NoClip is by himself. Like, it's that weight of, like, I am doing all of this by myself. It is the weight of, like, how much more can I possibly give? And, like, you know, I've been confronted with this thing that is, I can't just, like, do a flashy run and a punch and settle this, like, world-breaking anomaly. Like, how much more can I give? What other way can I truly help people? Like, and I think that, like, this confrontation of this is not a problem I can solve with my wits and my powers has made me be like, what good am I outside of those things?
You gotta prove yourself.
Yeah, and I think realize and in thinking about this specifically as the strain about my past, I think it's exhaustion, right? Like, it's that I've been doing this. I've been running very fast and very hard, and I don't know how long I can keep running without collapsing.
How long you can go before you hit a wall?
Yeah, exactly. God, the clip puns are fun. Is the
really
thing,
fun.
And I'm glad that we're both fully leading into this. So now we've got our toil.
And yeah, that's what trouble plagues you in your work.
And I am going to actually pull from our Kickstarter expansion cards for this because we have them here in front of us, and they're dope. And I'm happy I did because I got Anvil, a hardened heart, a stiff upper lip, a temper cooled with time and distance, white hot rage, calamitous and roiling, an eager upstart desperate to strike. Okay. All right. Yeah. Good.
Yeah.
We love a good angry teenage leftist superhero who wants to burn down the system and fix this, but is kind of limited on the fact that he can only run through walls. Like,
yeah.
That's it. That's a pretty fast card, and I feel pretty good about that. It's that, you know, this is a character that wants to make big differences in the world and is somewhat limited, and is young and is limited in how he can do that at this moment, and that really, like, weighs on him. It is how do you punch injustice that is much larger than a thing that you can punch. And that is, I think, what his toil is. And finally, we have a fret.
What trouble do you fear lies ahead of you?
Let's find out.
Yeah.
Famine. Ooh. Wow. Okay. Blighted soil, fallow fields, poisoned rivers, and off-season. I gotta keep this card face up because blighted soil, fallow. This is not just a portal that has opened. This is a borderline Crisis on Infinite Earths event. Things are scary. Like, this could escalate in a real bad way real quick.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Sure could.
I love that. That's great. I already love this. I'm having so much fun. This is great. All right. So now we've got our fire, and now Hertha, you are going to draw your flames. You're going to draw 4 cards. You're going to read them, and I will read you the questions that you're going to answer.
All right.
So first you're going to answer your Ember. What goal, grand or petty, do you need power to achieve?
Let's see. I think I'm going to pull from here. Ooh,
the Tender of Blooms.
the Tender of Blooms, a gardener, a florist, a teacher, or, oops, I'm spinning you, an apothecary, a provider of perfumes, potions, and poisons. Okay. Ember. I'm going to think on this. The thing that I like to do is I like to get my spread and start to see how all the cards talk to each other.
That sounds great. So why don't you go ahead and draw your next card, which is your Glow. What shape do you and your magic take?
Artisan. Ooh, master of none, governed by moods, blinded by an unattainable ideal, a skillful hand, a practiced eye, a weathered tool, and a clean slate.
Next you're gonna draw for your Flicker. What fear makes you burn low?
Inosculation. This is from the Kickstarter deck as well. Twisted legs, enclosed fingers, conjoined lips, merging breaths. Or abominations holding hands and growing old together. Mutant sculpture, work of art. Ooh.
Damn, we're getting some juicy draws here. I'm loving this. All right, and give us your flair. What makes you burn brightest?
I'm gonna go for the Kickstarter deck again. I like it. All right. Bare branch. Silhouetted on a cold white sky, bone-thin fingers grasping at the air, lonely, but not alone. How does it feel to be so naked? 6 whole months of vulnerability without leaves, but still just as much a tree.
4 good draws.
4 good draws. All right. What am I getting? Let's see. Who's this Arthur? Oh, there's something. Okay.
What's the vibe that you're feeling? Talk through it.
So Let's got
pull on the string.
Artisan here for glow, which is like how I manifest, right?
Yeah.
And I like a weathered tool and a clean slate. I like being tethered to an object that you carry. And like that being the way that I am interfacing with the world. Whether I've like taken over a communicator or something, or just kind of like a inscrutable stone.
Can I throw something out? Thinking specifically of like of city superhero stuff.
Yeah.
Is this a weird Zippo lighter that has been found discarded? Cause like a weird Zippo lighter, that's just a good little grimy city detail that also has some magic in it. That's good. That's good city magic is what that is.
Yeah, it's like it's a cool one. It's like a tooled brass. I've gotten really into lighters recently.
I love it. I did not know this, but I'm delighted about it.
Yeah, so it's got like this like really nice like engraving on the outside of it, but it's like real dinged up, but it's that beautiful like pure brass color.
That's gorgeous. I love
maybe
that.
a little patina, probably found in an alleyway.
Absolutely found in an alleyway after some superhero shit. I think that we kind of get. I think that maybe we have seen a sequence of this superhero, running along rooftops and doing all the like kind of superhero enjoying themselves montage, slides down, sees the lighter, does the little like flip, catches it, stashes it in a pocket, and then we kind of get the glint of like glowing through the pocket of like a little piece of magic is hidden in there.
Can I add a layer over that?
Please do.
I think it was like inside of a tree. Like a tree had grown around it.
That's great. And like if I'm and sticking with the fact that it's in an alley, like the fact that like a tree jutted out of the side of a wall and like it's just like, well, that's weird, but I don't have time to think about that.
Yeah. Oh, good.
Good.
Cool. All right. This is an interesting. All right. So my fear is inosculation. Merging breaths. The sense that I'm kind of getting from this card is like there's a belonging that I don't want to belong to. Whether it's family or something, there is like some greater body that
sure
wants to reabsorb me or have me again.
I like that.
And I don't want that. I'm scared of that. Which plays well into Bare Branch being my flair. In that, like, I'm out on my own, and that feels great.
Yeah.
Like learning to be self-reliant and enjoying my independence here, and immediately finding a companion. Yeah.
Yeah, this feels really. I like a lot of this. I like a lot of this a lot.
And then I need to figure out my goal. Tender of blooms.
A gardener, a florist, a teacher, an apothecary, provider of perfumes,
Potions and poisons. I need to like zoom out on this card. I need it to not be a person.
I'm wondering if there's a connection, but you added the tree and like that immediately sprung to me the Tender of Blooms connection, and I'm wondering if there's a thread there to pull.
Yeah, it feels like there is. I think I like the thing that I like that this card is bringing is some kind of like providing or sharing. If I take the group that I'm afraid of, that I'm trying to escape in my flicker, then there's something about taking what I've gained from them, whether that be like the fact that I'm a fire demon or some other kind of knowledge, and giving that out, sharing that with people. My goal.
Yeah, that's great. That's really great.
Is like, instead of being this like cloistered group that is very much about controlling and keeping us like insular, breaking away from that and just being done with secrets, being done with, isolation in that way.
I love that. I really adore that.
All right.
All right. We have stoked our flames, and it's time to make camp. I am going to describe where I've made my camp tonight in as much or as little detail as I like. I think where we find ourselves, we get these big city shots, right? We see all the streets, the crowded traffic, even late at night. The street lights are out. There's graffiti on the walls. Everything is in that sort of like orange-ish neon, that biggest street light color scheme. And we find ourselves on the rooftop of an apartment complex. And I think there is not a party there's not a rooftop party happening, but there's a rooftop party happening the next building over. Like we see like a carpet laid down and a TV is playing and people laughing, and we go to the next one over where it is just like a dirty rooftop sitting against the stairwell door. NoClip is flicking open the lighter and has pulled out a deck of novelty playing cards. I think they are local baseball team playing cards. So we just get like random baseball guy shots. And he is flicking a card, lighting it on fire, and then flicking it kind of like a fireball, and just sort of like watching them sort of like burst and then like dissolve into ash like in front of him, and just kind of being like fireball.
And I think there's like a little bit of a breeze picks up, and it catches one of the cards as it's catching flame, and then that like streaks out weird. And in those flames, kind of suspended as they like freeze in place, you kind of make out a little bit of like a face, or I think like kind of like a bust of a humanoid looking thing in those flames.
I think like and NoClip, I think we're going full Spider-Verse with the outfit. So it's the superhero costume, which is very, I'm picturing neon green with like pink pixel effects on it.
Ooh, yeah.
And I'm picturing it underneath the army surplus jacket. And I think like as he sits, he kind of flickers a little bit, like a CGI, like a glitch effect. Like he kind of like periodically glitches between 3 places nearby and kind of periodically blinks in and out. And he looks and tilts his head. That never is not going to freak the shit out of me.
You'll get used to it.
Well, I also... admittedly, the talking immediately after I say that doesn't super help, but it also, hello, my friend, how are you?
I'm good. Why aren't we partying?
Oh, I don't want to... I'm in the uniform, and I don't have a change of clothes, and if I go over there, they're going to be like, oh, it's NoClip, and it's going to be a whole, like, hey, can you do this, and, you know, can you save with the poor? I don't want to get into it, frankly.
Is it not a costume party? I feel like every party should be a costume party. You could just, like, show up and be like, yeah, I'm in costume. I'm not NoClip, right? Right?
And I think he just silently sits for a moment and then blink. Yeah, it's not the easiest for me to lie about.
Yeah, all right.
And it's just like,
It's a nice rooftop.
you know, it's quiet, and I appreciate the quiet. You want to see something cool?
Yeah, show me.
And he grabs a card and he clicks the lighter, lights the card on fire, and like throws it to the ground, and it kind of like skips, like he basically almost like skips a stone, but a fireball, so it hits the ground, pops up, erupts into flame, and goes into ash. That was pretty sick, right?
That's pretty cool. I think that I like kind of gesture towards it, and it like reverses out of ash and bounces back, and I like catch it, catch the card, and look at it.
Whoa. That's the coolest thing I've ever seen. And I see superhero shit like all the time.
Just
well,
like
not like all the time, but like enough of the time.
Deadpans it. This is normal. Like plays it so cool.
And I think as we get into these sparks and memories, I think what it literally is like we get like a swipe and we are both just doing fire tricks on this rooftop.
Oh. And yeah. I've drawn our first spark here.
All right.
I draw a
spark.
card and describe something happening around our traveler. And this spark will jog our traveler's memory. And I've drawn Nightmare. Oh, you mean to say the Nightmare card is going to spark a memory for our hooray. Weird. Fears justified, omens fulfilled.
Our current terror, dreams of hellfire, lightning striking the steeple. Dreams of hellfire, lightning striking the steeple. And also a very terrifying looking eyeball just staring directly at me right here at the middle of this card.
God. Okay.
I think...
Oh, I have to give you a little thing.
Oh, do you?
Yes. So how these work is I draw a card and then
yes, you're right. You are correct.
I give a little like sensory picture, like rustling leaves or something.
You are correct. Give me a sensory. I got so distracted by the ominous nature of the nightmare card that I was like, I guess we're just going, but you're absolutely correct.
No, it's a chance to bring the wormhole here, I guess.
I'm so glad we were on the same page.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think we're doing tricks, and then there's kind of like wind goes weird. I think my flames like start blowing a different direction. We're both kind of like caught up in the tricks, and then start to notice that something is off as a old like do you know those old like TV antennas? I think they're called like parasitic arrays. They're yeah. One of those starts creaking and then flies up into the sky.
And I think like we're having this great time like doing fire tricks, and we watch it flies into the sky and then bolts off, and is eventually like we see it bolt off and we see it just get sucked straight into the wormhole, and NoClip just hands in the jacket. I'm gonna have to deal with that eventually. Crap. What memory does this bring to mind? Tell the story of this memory. What happened? Who was there? Where did it happen? If you get stuck, you may draw a card from the deck to help. I do want to draw a card from the deck, but it is specifically, I think that the memory is, I want to know who it was that asked NoClip to investigate this. Because I think that, like, I'm thinking specifically about, I'm thinking about you mentioning briefly, like, the connection between, like, NoClip and the portal and, like, passing through it, and, like, I think that is explicitly a thing that someone pointed out to NoClip as a, like, you should figure out, like, how this connects to you, right? Like, I think somebody did that. And I am going to draw a card from our expansion deck to kind of get a picture of, like, who the person is. And I drew a Panacea. That's how to say the word.
Panacea.
Yeah. Miracle Flower, Elixir of Strength, an Invigorated Spirit, an Adrenaline Surge, a Kind Sun and a Cool Breeze, a Salve to Cure. I am going to stick with Miracle Flower, Elixir of Strength. I get distinctly, if we're thinking about big city superheroes, I love the idea that there is, like, a Mr. Fantastic ass, big square drawed science bro, and just a real asshole, like a real, like, big smiles and, you know, Jonas Venture ass motherfucker is here.
I just rewatched Promare, thinking about there's a character in that as well. Fits this to a T.
It's a good energy, and I just get the vibe that, like, the memory is, I think a lot of what NoClip has been up, or what NoClip, like, gets up to is, like, local stuff, you know? It's like, it's cats and trees, it's, hey, like, you know, my landlord is trying to evict me from my property, like, can you help deal with that? And he, you know, puts the screws to a corrupt landlord. It's like local neighborhood, like, helping a neighbor in need shit.
I dropped my phone in the sewer.
Right. Easy stuff. I blink down, I grab the phone, I come back up. It's great. It's easy. So getting called into the office of, I'm gonna go with Mr. Magnanimous, which I realize is just Mr. Fantastic with the serial numbers filed off, but sometimes that's where we gotta go with these things. Yeah. Mr. Magnanimous like calls me into, like, this big gleaming office. It is peak, like, CEO executive office, and it's taking everything that I've got not to punch him in the nose, just as a matter of course. And, like, gives me this whole lecture. He's got all these chalkboards and whiteboards out, and he gives me this lecture about, like, you know, about embracing the true nature of the remarkable gifts that you have been given by random scientific chance, and this is an opportunity, you know, the connection between one that passes through solid objects and a wormhole that has passed through the very barriers of reality itself cannot be ignored. This is your heroic calling, NoClip. Are you going to answer it? Are you going to join us in this expedition? And I think by the time Magnanimous turned around, NoClip was already not in the room. I think it was just a, like, how dare you tell me what my purpose is? How dare you, person who has never done anything to show up in my neighborhood and help out? Like, where were you when the park caught fire and we had to, like, get people out of the park? Like, where the fuck were you?
Damn.
And I think, like, it's that seeing the wormhole and seeing it start to grow is this very, like, back of my mind fear that he might be right.
Ooh.
Has me haunted.
Would you like to offer this memory?
I think I do. I think in this moment, I think that, like, I think he might not if we weren't having the moment that we were just having, the answer would be no.
Mm-hmm.
I think that, like, I think that doing fire tricks on the roof and, like, kind of like doing fire tricks on the roof while kind of blatantly people watching the party next door and periodically kind of mumbling. So, like, you think they get karaoke on that microphone, or is it just sort of like, is it just there for like, is it just a loudspeaker effect? They gotta have karaoke, right?
Oh, certainly.
And I think us having that moment, us having the kind of like shooting the shit on the rooftop is kind of the thing that like connects back to, that's the thing that connects back, right? Like that's the thing that I think allows him to open up and share that memory.
All right. Well, in that case, you choose which of your struggles you would like me to soothe.
Is it my trouble that haunts my past? Is it... I think tying into that theme of like, where were you? I think I'm going to pull on my anvil. I think I'm going to pull on my toil. I think I'm going to pull on my toil of anvil and bring that over here, as I think that is what we are soothing.
Okay. Yeah, that was kind of the like aimless anger, right?
Yeah, aimless anger, the sort of sense of like, how do I, of like,
you can't punch that.
Yeah, seeing an unjust system and being like, how do I, as a guy that runs through a wall, take that on?
All right. May I take this card?
You may.
I'm adding it to my flames. Arthur, hold this card and take in this memory. Feel it begin to sing and catch fire as you consume it. Let its power seep into your body. Place this card in your flames. What does our traveler feel as it turns to embers and leaves their mind? So, it's like, you've kind of had this memory happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
Been in that reverie for a moment, sitting with the weight of it. And then there's this beautiful moment of silence. And then they do, in fact, they do karaoke over there. That is what that microphone is for.
Great.
Some song starts getting sung that just like fully pushes everything out of your mind. You're just like, oh, wow, they're really going for it over there. Next, what kind of miracle do I want to do for you? What does a solution to not being able to punch a wormhole look like?
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Because I think that it's I have a miracle that I would, or like a broad category of miracle, and I kind of want to know like what specific thing you kind of throw out.
Mm-hmm.
What's the local crisis that I'm able to deal with in this moment?
Oh, I like that. Let's see. I think a local crisis has been there's how superhero do we want this to be? Because you seem like you're kind of you do more community work generally.
I think in this moment, I was in the back of my head like a local community thing would be fun, but equally fun would be like, I don't know, a supervillain blows something up, and in that moment, it's like, well, I guess I got a thing to. So I think a little bit comic booky is like a fun direction in this moment to turn into.
Yeah. Yeah, there is a speeding box truck down on the street below you. And I think there's the sound of like maybe a car in pursuit of it. One or two gunshots are fired towards the box truck, and then like big bolts of magical like electricity get shot back at the car and like turn it off.
The karaoke stops hard as everybody looks over, and like they look back up, and NoClip is already not like on the rooftop anymore. And I think like we come flashing down what's the vibe of this supervillain that is trying to rob this boxcar?
This buddy is wearing like a full-on Spirit Halloween like wizard costume.
Hell, I'm so happy. I'm so genuinely delighted that is the direction. Yeah, and I think what it is, if I think like I the vibe I get immediately is that the boxcar is what's something valuable that you might have at like a neighborhood shop.
Oh,
I almost want it to be like, you know what, you know what it says to me.
Mm-hmm.
This is just thinking it genuinely. If this is a wizard trying to steal wizard shit, maybe this is like a truck delivering something utterly mundane to a local hardware store. It's some kind of stone that is that has some kind of magical potential. That
so I've got an idea.
Yeah, please.
I think that this stone is in an apparatus that one of the wizard's accomplices is like quickly fastening to this. There's a bunch of other things in the back of this truck. It is like a do it best hardware or something, or generic version of some hardware store supply truck, but there's this weird little machine with like a panel on it with these tabs that this like slate is being hooked into. I imagine it having like those big like electrical pylons that are on like substations and things that start like arcing. And this is some kind of wormhole tech. They're maybe going to try to like harness something in the wormhole.
I love that. And yeah, I think that like we see NoClip like blink down, see the hardware store. I think that we do get like a little moment of like, you're really gonna do Mr. Wojciechowski like that? No, not on my watch. Not on my watch. And like stashes the jacket in a trash can. Starts running, blinks through a car that like is barreling down the other direction on the street, jumps up, and like we see NoClip, unhook the slate, push the slate backwards back into the truck. The truck starts to veer all directions out of the way. Blinks into like falls backwards into the car in pursuit. Does the coolest thing I can think of, which is falls backwards, phases through the windshield, arms extended to kind of like clothesline both the person in the driver and the passenger seat, and then phase behind them. Just kind of be like, ba-bump, and then kind of lean forward as the car is veering out of the way. Hey, eyes on the road.
Perfect.
And I think that like when the car like veers, hits a fire hydrant explodes. This I think like the wizard, gets out to throw a lightning bolt. NoClip phases through the lightning bolt, punch in the jaw, turns around, like looks around, walks up to the truck driver. You doing all right, buddy? You good? All right, you take care. Jacket back on, flicks the Zippo one last time.
Thumbs up.
Thumbs up. And then just kind of like struts off a little bit. Like looks up just long enough at the rooftop party to be like, yeah, they think I'm very cool.
Perfect.
All right. So now we rest. Sleep finds our traveler. In the morning, they move on, and the Hearther humps them next time we make camp. So where are we the next time that we make camp?
Yeah.
I think where we are, I think NoClip NoClip is sitting, not like half dejected and half exhausted in the green room of a local news studio.
Oh.
His backstage post interview, and is sitting utterly by himself, having just done the most disastrous morning news segment. The vibe is not good. And in that way, just as a pure fidget object, just kind of has the lighter. And I think that we see that the roof has the smoke detector in this room has been unplugged, has been disconnected, just so that he can flick the lighter on and off and have a fidget object.
Great. Yeah, I think that I'm the flame looks normal in the room, but in all of the mirrors. Because I'm imagining there's mirrors for, you're about to go on. It's a green room. In the mirrors, there's a figure sitting on the counter.
I love it. And I think is flicking it and is not looking at the mirrors, is looking at his feet and is so I don't know how weird magic lighter energy works. You didn't see that interview, did you? Because
it'd make you feel better if I said no?
It would make me feel so much better if you said no.
I didn't see anything.
That genuine, I know that you're lying, but genuinely hearing that does make me feel so much better.
That's what I'm here for.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that a whole lot.
And I think it was mostly on them.
Okay, you got the vibe, right? You got the vibe that they came at me with an energy, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cause okay, I'm glad. Thank you, because I feel like I was chill, and then they turned it on to the why are you being so distant, and that was a weird tone to start the interview with when I was trying to be chill.
Yeah. Real weird. I didn't hear anything though.
I appreciate that. That's really what I needed to hear. You want to see something cool?
Yeah.
Flicks. What a card to draw.
Don't worry about it. We'll get there in a second.
I think that this time the cool thing is that there are meringue puffs in the green room. Little puff balls of meringue, and he just grabs one and flicks the lighter under it and just kind of, and they're light enough because it's meringue that when he flicks it and the lighter is strong, he's got the lighter strength turned all the way up, so it just kind of holds the meringue puff in the air as it kind of catches fire, and he's I got no smoke detector, so this is cool though, right?
It's pretty cool.
All right.
I
puts
think
it out. Oh god, fuck, put it.
I think so. Because I'm sitting on the counter in the mirror reflection, what is visible is my back.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that I am holding the meringue puff in the reflection and eating it.
I like that. I love that. I adore that. So talk to me about this card, this really powerful card that has been drawn.
This is one of my favorite cards, hands down. It's beautiful. I drew Memory, a flawed narrative, a dedication of trauma ourselves through failing eyes, or the hard-won acclamation of who you are, who we could be. Wow. What? Reading upside down. Yeah, I did that. I read that correctly.
It's a challenge.
It's challenge. Good. I like it though. It's my favorite part of Spindle Wheel. How often do you get to read upside down?
That's true.
A flawed narrative in a news in a local news green room. Oh. Okay. You through the door can hear muffled the stinger theme for the sports newscaster who has the worst takes and predictions of anyone on the planet.
Oh god, yeah.
And that's your spark.
Worst news predictions on the planet. We're hearing the stinger of the local news.
Specifically the sports guy.
And I think what it is I am going to go... I'm going to go with the biggest... Again, we're going for the biggest swings that we can go for.
Let's do it.
Because I think that the flawed narrative and the dedication of trauma. I think that we are hearing the sportscasters' predictions about the intercounty the intercounty triathlon predictions. It's a yearly fundraising event, and on that is a track meet. And we get a glimpse of NoClip's origin, which is that he is a track star. We see him running, and I think we see glimpses of him running, and we see I'm gonna throw a little Daredevil into this because that's a good vibe. I like a truck crashes. Lightning bolts shoot out of it. Like there is going to be momentarily a big explosion, and there is someone that is stuck, like the person driving the truck is stuck, and this kid, this high school kid in his track uniform is fast enough that he's pretty sure he can get that truck driver out, and we see him running. We see the truck driver sitting next to a fire hydrant or a telephone pole on the side of the street. There is an explosion, and the narrative is that everybody got out of there okay. Is that like everything was okay, or that this one brave young hero sacrificed everything to get someone to safety, and the reality is that now I'm this sort of glitch thing.
Yeah.
There's a lot, and it is that acknowledgement. Like I think the memory in this instance is this knowledge that, like, this is it. It's hearing predictions about a triathlon meet, about a relay race that, like, I was at one point in my life supposed to be a part of.
And
now I'm whatever I am now. And life has gone in a direction that I could not have possibly predicted, all because I chose to do the right thing at the moment, and I was the person that was in a position to do a good thing.
Yeah. Oh, poor kid.
Poor kid.
Poor kid.
I think I am going to offer up this memory.
All right.
And I think that it's gotta be the thing haunting my past, right? It's gotta be the strain.
Yeah.
That feels like the right option. Because I think especially and I think as I think in the way that, like, I envision this as can I describe a little bit of how I envision this offering? The offering process in general.
Mm-hmm.
I love the idea that it is, for lack of a better way to put it, comic book montage narration.
Mm-hmm.
But because you are a traveler in my mind, you see those transitions happen. So it's the, like, there are the like, and that's how I knew that I was never going back to being a track star. But, like, we see those glimpses and those panels and those things. And, like, it is this very multi-sensory experience of, like, voice and vision and sound and all of these things kind of stirring at once.
Yeah.
And he just kind of stands having, like, re-experienced that memory with you watching. And so I'm this now. This is me now, and now I do good because I've been given this opportunity to do good, so I should be doing good with it, but fuck, is it exhausting to always feel like you gotta be the person running into the fire.
Mm-hmm. So, with this miracle, I need to, like, fix your sleep schedule. That's kind of the vibe that I'm getting, because
that feels good.
You're tired.
I like
That's
that.
A good place
I
to
like
start.
that. That's a really good place to go. I wasn't really sure where you were going to go with the miracle, and that feels absolutely perfect.
Well, I was reading Under the Veneer of Impassive Stone is Fragile Flesh.
That's great. That's perfect.
Was thinking about the slate that the wizard had in the last miracle, And that like trailing you now, it appears in your room and it's humming, and something about it is like a white noise generator. It just puts you to sleep. You're getting like 8-9 hours of sleep. I don't know what age of teenager this is, so sometimes you need more, sometimes you need less.
16, 17 feels right. And
you're
like,
in the, like
I think
9 to 10 hours.
I think has this moment of like sees this block of slate, sees that it is like a humming and glowing with energy, like I don't have time to unpack all of that. And like the thump right into the right face first into the bed. I think wakes up like 10, maybe 12 hours later with some sleep debt to the pounding on the door. His mom is like, honey, you got leftovers in the fridge, but you seem pretty tired, so I made you waffles. Do you want waffles? And like sits up, I think blinks through the door, stands in front of his mom. Honestly, waffles sound fantastic, Mom. Thank you.
He feels great. He feels there's something like crackling at the end of those phases, the shifts, the clipping, that feels more willful. Something is helping you hold that a little tighter than you have in the past.
And can I throw out just a strictly adorable detail that I need?
Mm-hmm.
I think it is specifically NoClip's mom that's like, well, somebody's crackling with a different energy today. Good for you.
Good for you.
Because I like the idea that NoClip, like if we're going like the idea that NoClip is like that green pink pixel effect is like just NoClip now.
Mm-hmm.
I like the idea that his mom knows, and it's like, well, it's my son, and I love him. I take care of him, and so she's like, somebody's blinking with a little extra pizzazz today.
Perfect.
I love this. I love this lad with his loving mother. It's great. It's good energy.
It's good. This is the kind of superhero stories we need. This is
great. Love a good loving superhero mother. It's my favorite thing in the world. All right. So I think the next time that we make camp, our third time making camp is let's kick this into high gear. Let's go
go.
0. Let's go to 60.
Are we through the wormhole?
I think we are in front of the wormhole.
Okay, cool.
And I think that from your perspective, as the Hearther, the fire flicks, you take shape, and you are face first with this wormhole, and there is this colossal, vine-laden, earth tree, fey wild energy on this other side, upside down, big, like all plants and vines and all sorts of things on the other side that we can see through this wormhole. Things are being sucked into it on all sides, and sans jacket, full superhero outfit, or full superhero mode, NoClip is standing, just staring face first with this wormhole, and is not flicking the lighter, has just flicked it once and held it open.
Oh, so we're doing this now?
I think we're doing this now.
Oh, because
if I don't do this now, and I'm here, I gotta do it now, right? I'm here. I'm striking the superhero thing. This has got to be done now, right? Because this is like this is the closest I've gotten to doing the thing, and I feel like if I don't do it now, then when is it gonna happen?
I agree. I agree completely. I am, power to you. I'm all here for this. I'm going to be a little honest with you for a moment. I was kind of planning on piecing out before this part, like giving you everything you need, and then just kind of if we're here, I can, and I think, she looks back, I look back, I've tried to switch between those, looks back up at the wormhole, sees all of that like lush greenery, and like eyes go wide. I'm imagining just like little spout of fire, kind of humanoid shape on the upper half. Two big glowing eyes, tiny, like floor dropping out from under me, like sweating even though I'm aflame.
Was this not a team up situation? Were we not gonna like go through together and do a big double team thing? Was that not?
I really like that energy. I really like that thought. I like that you're
usually
including
comes
me.
with a butt. That usually comes with a butt, though.
Just like for like just a second, just like look at me. Hands out, gesturing.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I'm seeing. I'm acknowledging.
I'm very small.
You're small. You're fire. Just plant. I can see a lot of complications. You are correct.
Okay.
Okay. No. I'm acknowledging that I should have asked this before standing in front of a terrifying. It's growing, right?
It's kind of growing. It's
definitely growing.
It's definitely growing.
Which means it's really.
Here's
what we're gonna do.
We're here. The time is now. Do you have any fuel or anything like something bigger to burn, or like a I don't what would be like a bigger thing? You have a really big lantern?
Oh crap! I do, but I don't know that you're gonna like it.
What's that mean?
The very next panel is just standing next to a trash can full of old newspapers that is now burning as a full bonfire. I didn't think you were gonna like it.
Like the fire gains the shape. Yeah, this sucks, but
yeah, I didn't think it was gonna be great.
This gives me something, and I think like I like look around and start pulling other things and start creating this kind of like body of ash, and wood and like an old bed frame. Start getting warm enough to like start melting metal and using some like burn points of some lighter metals to like keep sustained. And I'm about a person size now, and I step out of the trash can.
Man, I work really hard to be a superhero. How do you keep doing things that are much cooler than I do? This sucks.
What you do is cool.
I guess.
I can't glitch like that. That's cool.
I mean, I hope that we'll see if it stays cool. If it turns into some sort of apocalypse thing on the other side, then it will cease being cool. But
it's a kind of cool.
Any final before? No,
we should probably just we should just go through with it. And
okay, all right.
Healing word, a chapbook of poetry, a shared language, unification through culture, a hierarchy of knowledge, an ivory tower. What was his name? Magnanimous?
Magnanimous.
Yeah. For a moment, on a skyscraper nearby. Imagine you had to be like, you're like right in front of the wormhole. I don't know how high up it is, or like where is it? Just
I was envisioning it like at street level, and the idea that there's like somebody watching from a skyscraper above is very sick.
Yeah, you see, Mr. Magnanimous's colors, just for like a moment out of the corner of your eye, up high, glinting in the sunlight, and then they dart out of the way. But you feel like, I think the thing that leads your eye to look up there is this like weird like blue haze that kind of sweeps around the wormhole, and like there's like this line that leads up to the skyscraper, but it's like gone by the time you see the like flicker up there.
The memory that this spurs is I think it's Spurs. I'm looking at this card, Hierarchy of Knowledge, an Ivory Tower, this blue haze, Mr. Magnanimous.
I'm going for like a kind of classic superhero heel turn
Yeah.
kind of illusion here, just to make that clear. That's our kind of foreshadowing.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, I like that. I like that a lot because I also like the idea that, like, the other half of the day that NoClip got his powers. NoClip, I'm actually gonna flick back to one of these other sparks at the same time and tie these two together. Because I think that, like, we told the narrative and, like, we told the narrative of, like, what happened, but I don't think we fully laid out why it was a flawed narrative.
Yeah.
And now I think I see where the flawed narrative comes in.
Yeah.
I think that the reason why... I think that the narrative that is told was indeed that nobody got hurt that day. And that is because that is the story that Mr. Magnanimous told people when he arrived on the scene. This shining blue light of energy flashed down, put out the fire, took the Magnanimous Industries truck out of the way, cleared up the wreckage, showed up and was like, thank goodness that no one was hurt. Our driver was hurtled out of the window at just the right time. And the driver's like, no, actually a kid. And a finger goes up to, like, nobody's listening to you. Tells this story, gives a big smile and, like, flies off to never again think about this moment. And I think we just hear that echoing, like, where the fuck were you? Where were you? And, like, where were you just keeps echoing as NoClip is watching this. And finally, like, I am absolutely offering this memory as is sitting quietly and is just increasingly getting, like, you see his fists clench. And this is my, what is the term for the future? This is my...
Strain, I think.
My
fret.
This is my fret. This is my fear of what will happen.
Yes.
And I'm just, like, I'm thinking about, like, the revealed detail that it was a Magnanimous Industries truck that had this reactor core in it that turned me into this entity. He made this... He made this happen just because, because he cut a corner. He made this happen. He's going to throw me into this portal. You and I are going to shut this thing down because you're some sort of amazing fire elemental that has all kinds of magical powers, and that's sick as hell. And I have what appears to be some sort of transdimensional superpower, and that's sick. And we kick ass, and we're going to figure out how to close this wormhole, probably dramatically almost not make it through the other side, if we don't get stuck there for eternity. And he's going to give a TV interview. And they're not going to ask why he's distant. They're not going to... And I think now NoClip is muttering all of this and panting, like, or pacing back and forth, kind of like gesticulating with his hands. Like, they're not going to ask why he's distant. They're not going to say, hey, why don't you put a smile on? Because they're not going to give there, because I can't believe...
And I think in this moment, there's that blue flash again, and I intercept Mr. Magnanimous trying to push NoClip in. I, like, leap and grapple. And this is go time. This is the moment.
Yeah, this is the moment, and I think that the miracle is that we managed to bring down this, like, Superman-like being. I think that it is, he throws lightning bolts at us and cars at us, and we just managed to, like, dismantle it. There's a moment where, like, a car is thrown and it just melts, and NoClip looks back. Still extremely cool. But wait, hold on.
Wink.
You want to see something cool? And, like, runs and starts running at Magnanimous, and Magnanimous grabs a bunch of debris and, like, builds a wall and just kind of runs through it. Amateur hour punch.
I manifest in tools. I think the kicker of this miracle is that there was like a news truck nearby, and I'm able to turn cameras on this scene right as punch connects. Cameras start rolling, live interrupts a news feed, and Magnanimous starts monologuing about his whole plan and why we're ruining it.
I gave you the opportunity to be a hero. I gave you the opportunity to walk through a wormhole, seal it, and be known forever as the hero of this city. Yeah, it was an accident. Accidents happen. We cut funding on safety guidelines. It was a tough quarter. So be it. So be it. You're going to throw a fit just because we cut funding a little bit. These things happen. This is part of progress. This is part of doing business.
The wormhole like eats the front of a like local shop. All of its like, I think it's like what kind of shop would this be?
It's got to be Mr. Wojciechowski's hardware store.
Oh, it's definitely the hardware store. Just like nails and hammers and shovels and like a length of chain. All this stuff just comes like flying out of the front of this thing. It's just getting eaten up. And
whoa.
Magnanimous laughs, like looks at it and just kind of like laughs.
What the fuck are you laughing at? That man's been a staple of this neighborhood for generations. You put up some high rise, 3-4 years ago, and you think, I don't, and I think like finally like gets like nose to nose with Magnanimous. I don't like you very much. And finally, like I think the final moment is like this is all being filmed. Over Magnanimous's shoulder, I think that we see you like twirling the edge of this wormhole, almost like lifting it open just as it starts to seal, just enough that I'm like, oh yeah, got it. And like just one big shove falls into the wormhole seals. I should probably not feel good about that, but I feel really, really good about that.
Well, we have the trial's end to finish up. We can see what that reveals.
All right. We are out of struggles. We place you place your trial card above the sparks. My trial card.
This is our bridge, right?
Yes. Our bridge, our stable connection. Place my trial card over the sparks. It is my bridge. It is a stable connection, a thoroughfare, a mountain hollowed, a choke point, a shortcut, rope and wood, haphazardly lashed. Reading upside down is a challenge.
It's a challenge.
And I am reinterpreting the sparks to narrate how we complete the quest stronger from our Hearther's help. These sparks are not what they once were. We can define them how we like. We've got the nightmare, we've got the panacea, we've got the memory, we've got the healing word. I think the nightmare is it can only it is using the things of Magnanimous, right? Like it is, if it's omens fulfilled and fears justified, it is that Magnanimous has a bunch of terrifying science stuff that can, for now, keep this thing sealed, right? This is, things are haphazardly lashed per this bridge card. I think that we're able to seal it for now. And I think, I've got to pull on this. This memory card is great, is the thing. You know what? I'm going to go in the opposite direction of what because we pulled so much on this flawed narrative. I am going to flip this card because this is the hard won accumulation of who I am and who I could be. This is the moment where I stop being the kid saving cats from trees and start being the big damn hero of this burrow. This is the moment, right? Like,
yeah,
everybody saw it. It was on TV that like this thing came out, and this unification through culture. I think this is very much I am not Mr. Magnanimous saving the world from on high. Like the thing that makes this new chapter of NoClip's life so prominent is that NoClip is the kid from the block. Like it is that sense of like, what helps me protect this neighborhood is that I know all of the people on it and I know what they need and how I can help them. And like, it is realizing that is itself a way for me to fight and say and protect people and help this city in a way that I never thought I could before. And that is, it's the start of a new chapter.
It's the start of a new chapter. Celebrate. You've succeeded.
Succeeded. So with that, Hertha, you may share as much or as little about your goal and how you complete it as you like, and then the game ends.
I think we get a little bit. I think from closing the wormhole and like working to keep it closed, and having seen the like lush woods on the other side, I think there's kind of this like quick montage of like, you know, weeks ago or whatever now, since when I first showed up, of like a whirligig seed coming out of the wormhole and landing in that alley and taking root, and a tree being there the next day. And finding the lighter to like decant myself into, and there's a lot of just like, I'm able to stand on my own. We've closed this wormhole. I don't have to go back. I made it out. And the thing that I start to realize is that the memories that I'm used to working with are pretty weak compared to a superhero's memories. And I can do a lot of good, or just a lot in general.
I like that. I like that a lot. That's really good.
And it's just kind of like, yeah, it's like me sitting with this and realizing that I can help out and that I can kind of be my own person, and then teaming up, choosing to come back and team up with NoClip.
Can I throw us a little post-credits stinger, and then I think that it is genuinely, you know, we get this moment, we fade to black, credits roll, camera screen lingers black for a moment, and then we hear click click click. Honey, I told you, don't, like, you're gonna Mom, I'm not Mom, it's fine. Finally, like, we come back and just as like as NoClip hits the lighter, it's like, Mom, it's fine. Hits the lighter, puts it on the table as it burns. Mom, hello, this is my friend. I wanted to introduce you. Crap, I never actually asked your name, did I?
Oh, don't worry about it. I've heard
Cool.
so much. And I hold out a hand.
And she shakes it and does not get burned, and NoClip is like, I'm Charlie, by the way. I realize we've not actually, and that's it. That's a game.
That's a game.
Fuck yeah. What a great experience.
That rolled.
I'm so happy with this. I'm delighted at this.
Yeah.
Over the moon.
Me too. Wow.
That was joyful. Thank you so much for coming on and playing this game with me. What a wonderful experience.
Yeah.
Giddy. Absolutely giddy.
Absolutely.
So real quick, before we wrap up, where can people find you and your work online?
So you can find my work at crtgirl.itch.io. That's where my games are. And then pretty much everything else is through my Twitter account, which is CRT_girl. I do music and leatherworking and graphic design and game design. I've worked on a couple of other projects. But yeah, Let the Fire Soothe. You can find it at my itch and on my itch. You can find it on my itch.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much again for joining me for the show. This was the best possible experience. I'm so happy. And for now, I'm going to throw it over to me in the future so that he can wrap up with the show. Take it, future me. Thanks, past me. And thanks again to Lyra for coming on the show. That game was... what an amazing game. Like, truly, when I threw out the idea of like a cities urban superheroes game, like I wasn't really sure how it was going to play out. And like, I could not be happier with how the game went, because like I am just blown away with the story that we told and the way that we got to like evoke this really rich personal story. It ruled. I'm happy about it. I loved it. Be sure to pick up your own copy of Let the Fire Soothe at crtgirl.itch.io, or you can check the show notes for more information. And be sure to follow Lyra on Twitter at crtgirl. Then while you're on Twitter, follow us at Party of One Pod. Like us on Facebook at facebook.com/partyofonepodcast. Find us on TikTok at Party of One Podcast. Find us on Tumblr at Party of One Pod. Subscribe to our newsletter at buttondown.email/partyofone podcast. And join our Discord community at bit.ly/partyofone-discord. If you enjoy the show, there's a lot of ways to support it. You can support us financially at patreon.com/JeffStormer or ko-fi.com/JeffStormer. You can give us a nice iTunes review, shout us out to a friend, give us some love on social media. You can buy some Party of One merch at bit.ly/partyofonemerch. Or, if you're looking for more great podcast content, you can check out All My Fantasy Children, which is a character creation, storytelling, and world-building podcast that I make with my best friend in the world, Aaron Catano Saez. We take a listener-submitted prompt and spin it into an original fantasy character, populating a shared universe one story at a time. You can also check out Yazeba's Bed and Breakfast, which is an actual play about a heartless witch, a cozy house, and the many people making their homes inside. Both of those you can find wherever you get your podcasts. Party of One is, as always, produced and edited by Jeff Stormer and Jen Frank. Music for the show comes from the song Infinite Lives by Mega Ran featuring the D&D Sluggers, and the Party of One logo is by Evan Rowland. If you'd like to inquire about advertising rates, coming on the show as a guest, or about press coverage of the show, you can email me at partyofonepodcast@gmail.com. And, unless I am mistaken, that is all we do here. So until next time, thank you so much for listening. Remember to fight the forces of fascism every single day. Remember that self-love and self-care are radical and defiant acts of resistance. And as always, party on, everybody.